Welcome back, everyone. Get ready to dive deep into the world of startup funding.
Oh, yeah, it's always a wild ride.
This time, we're zeroing in on environmental tech and enterprise software.
Two areas that are absolutely on fire right now.
Absolutely. We've got a fantastic source to guide us, a recent blog post from Bearhug Recruiting.
They always have their finger on the pulse of the startup scene.
They really do. This particular post summarizes all the funding activity from the week of October 21st. So it's fresh, hot off the press.
You know, whether you're an entrepreneur, investor, or just curious about emerging tech, this deep dive is going to be eye-opening.
Buckle up, because we're going to uncover some key trends, spotlight those innovative companies everyone's talking about.
And give you some insights into what areas are really attracting serious investment right now.
It's like a treasure map for anyone interested in the future of tech.
You know what jumps out at me right away from this blog post?
What's that?
It's laser-focused on early and growth stage companies.
So we're not talking about the big, established players.
Nope, these are the up-and-comers, the disruptors, the ones poised for massive expansion.
Makes sense. It really underscores investor confidence in these sectors. They're betting on the future.
Exactly. And the sheer variety of companies is just amazing. I mean, you've got everything from AI-powered architecture to revolutionary waste management platforms.
It's a testament to the dynamic nature of these sectors, right? Like, there's innovation happening on every front.
Oh, absolutely. It's like a Cambrian explosion of ideas, each company trying to carve out its unique niche.
One trend that's impossible to miss is the focus on sustainability.
Yes, absolutely. It's woven into so many of these companies' DNA.
Take Pantheon AI, for example.
Yeah.
They're not just designing buildings, they're using AI to design better buildings.
More energy efficient, less resource intensive, and even healthier for the people who use them.
It's way beyond the old school approach to architecture.
Oh, for sure. And then you've got Built-in. They're tackling safety and regulatory compliance in construction.
An area that's ripe for disruption.
Absolutely. Built-in's using tech to make construction safer, more efficient, and more sustainable. It's a win-win-win.
Now, how about Carbon Ridge? They're taking on a huge challenge, emissions from the shipping industry.
Yeah, with a carbon capture technology designed specifically for ships, it's a game changer for making shipping cleaner.
It's like giving those massive cargo ships a set of lungs to breathe in all those harmful emissions.
I love that analogy. It really captures what they're doing, and it highlights a crucial point. Sustainability isn't just about feeling good.
It's also about good business.
Exactly. These companies are demonstrating that sustainability can be a powerful competitive advantage.
And they're tapping into a growing market of consumers who are demanding eco-friendly products and services.
It's a smart move, both ethically and financially.
And let's not forget about Paccurate. They're using AI to figure out the most efficient way to pack boxes.
Sounds kind of mundane, right?
Maybe. But when you think about the sheer volume of packages shipped every day, the impact is huge.
Oh, absolutely. They're minimizing waste and making sure every inch of space is used.
It's all about optimization.
And then there's Formic, making robotics more accessible to businesses of all sizes.
Democratizing automation. I like it.
Yeah, their robotics as a service model lets companies leverage those cutting-edge technologies without a massive upfront investment.
It's a real game changer for smaller businesses that might have thought robots were out of reach.
And what about Recyclox?
Yes. They're tackling the tricky world of recycling, especially those materials that often end up in landfills.
Yeah, the ones that are hard to recycle.
Exactly. They're using technology to connect people with specialized recycling services.
It's brilliant. It's giving those materials a second life instead of ending up in a landfill.
So we've got companies focusing on everything from green buildings to efficient packaging to robot workforces.
It's clear these companies aren't just chasing trends, they're pinpointing real problems and coming up with innovative solutions.
And while sustainability is a big theme, there's another powerful force at play here too.
I think I know what you're going to say.
Artificial intelligence.
You got it. It's almost impossible to talk about innovation these days without AI being part of the conversation.
And this batch of companies is no exception. We're seeing AI applied to so many different areas.
Content licensing with Tollbit, sales conversations with attention, it's mind-blowing.
What I find fascinating is that AI isn't just being used for automation, it's being used to solve complex problems.
Like Fixify, for example. They're using AI to streamline IT support.
It's like having a virtual IT expert available 24/7.
Exactly. No more waiting on hold for hours.
And then there's Nooks. They're using AI to personalize learning experiences.
Tailoring content and delivery to individual student needs. It's like having a personal tutor powered by AI.
Incredible. And we can't forget about Urban.
They're using AI to predict and prevent risks to workers and infrastructure.
It's like having a crystal ball that can foresee potential hazards.
And then that allows them to take steps to mitigate those risks before they even happen.
These examples really showcase the incredible range of AI applications. It's more than just a buzzword.
It's a transformative technology that's changing how we work, live, and interact with the world around us.
But all this innovation, all this potential, wouldn't be possible without something else.
The fuel that drives it all.
Investment.
Bingo. And we're seeing some big names stepping up to the plate.
Venture capital firms like Andreessen Horowitz and Kleiner Perkins, they're backing many of these companies.
These are the heavy hitters, the ones who've invested in some of the biggest tech giants we know today.
It's not just the usual suspects, though.
You've got PSG Equity, known for their growth stage investments, and even Mitsubishi Electric Corporation getting involved.
A global powerhouse jumping into the startup arena.
It's a clear signal that these sectors are more than just passing fads. They're ripe for disruption and massive growth.
These investors are placing their bets on the future.
And they're betting big. You know, the involvement of those big players really changes things.
It's like they're saying, hey, this is where the magic's happening, this is the future in the making. But it makes you wonder, though.
What's that?
All the companies mentioned in this blog post are, like, US-based.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's a good point. What about the rest of the world? Europe, Asia, Africa, they must have their own things going on.
Exactly. Are there similar trends popping up elsewhere? It reminds us that innovation's global. This blog's just a tiny peek.
I'd love to see like a side-by-side comparison of startup funding trends in different regions, you know?
To see how culture, government policies, resources, all that stuff shapes innovation.
Yeah, totally. Every region probably has its own strengths and weaknesses. Figuring those out gives us the bigger picture.
It's like zooming out to get a wider view of the whole global innovation scene.
Right. And speaking of different perspectives, this whole deep dive into startup funding got me thinking about the bigger picture.
The ripple effects beyond just the money.
Exactly. Especially with AI, it's getting more and more ingrained in our lives. Gotta look at the downsides too, not just the good stuff.
Yeah, we talked about how it can streamline things, make things efficient, even predict risks.
But there's the other side of the coin. Jobs getting automated, that's a big one. And how do we make sure AI development is ethical? No bias, no new inequalities.
It's tricky, right? We have this powerful tool, huge potential to reshape everything. We need to make sure it benefits everyone, not just a select few.
Like, imagine AI as a super powerful but potentially dangerous new medicine.
Got to use it responsibly, right?
You got it. Figure out the dosage, the side effects. It's not just about what it can do, but how and why we use it.
We need to move past the hype, the headlines, really grapple with the ethical questions, how AI is going to impact our lives for real.
These conversations need to happen everywhere, not just in Silicon Valley boardrooms. Policymakers, educators, everyday people.
Yeah, like over dinner with friends and family. It affects us all.
Exactly. We've got to make sure AI aligns with our values, respects our rights, contributes to a fairer world for everyone.
That's like we're explorers in uncharted territory. The map's still being drawn.
We decide which paths to take. It's through our choices, our actions, that we shape what AI becomes.
So it's not just fate or destiny.
Nope, we've got agency. We're active participants in this.
And that brings us back to these companies we've been talking about today. They're not just building tech, they're shaping the future.
Their work could solve some of the world's biggest problems: climate change, inequality, all that.
But their success depends on more than just tech skills. It's about navigating the ethics of it all, the societal impact.
That's why it's crucial to stay informed, think critically, question everything. Don't just swallow whatever narrative you're fed.
Dig deeper, ask questions, form your own informed opinions.
This blog post was a jumping-off point, but the real deep dive starts when you apply these ideas to your own life.
Whether you're a budding entrepreneur, a seasoned investor, or just someone who's curious.
There's a whole universe of knowledge out there, waiting to be explored.
Like a giant puzzle waiting to be solved. And remember, this isn't a spectator sport.
You got to get in the game, engage, explore, and contribute your own piece to the puzzle.
The future's not a pre-written script. It's waiting for us to write it. You know, through all this talk about these companies and the trends we're seeing, one thing's really been kind of sticking with me.
Oh, I'm curious. What's that?
We often talk about AI and sustainability as separate things, right? But looking at these startups, it's obvious they're totally intertwined.
That's a great point. It's not just about using AI to come up with green solutions.
Mm.
It's also about making sure AI itself is developed and used sustainably.
Exactly. It's about the whole picture.
Yeah.
We can't just look at the end product.
Nope.
Got to consider the entire life cycle of these technologies, the energy those algorithms use.
The materials for the hardware.
Yeah, all of it.
Yeah.
And the data that fuels these systems.
Oh, absolutely. That's a whole ethical can of worms right there.
Mhm.
Data collection, privacy, bias.
It's a big deal. We need to make sure the data we're feeding AI is, representative.
Unbiased, used responsibly.
All of that. It's like, imagine building a house, right?
Oh.
You can't just focus on making it energy efficient.
Right.
Got to think about the materials, labor practices, the impact on the neighborhood.
It's a holistic approach, the whole ecosystem where these technologies exist.
And that brings us to something really important.
Yeah.
Sustainability is not just about shrinking our environmental footprint anymore.
It's bigger than that.
It's about building a future that works for everyone.
Equitable, resilient.
Exactly. Making sure these advancements benefit everyone and that we deal with the risks carefully.
It's a whole new way of thinking.
Got to move past the hype, the buzzwords, and have some serious conversations about tech's role in society.
Conversations that need to be happening everywhere. Boardrooms, classrooms, families.
Around the dinner table.
Exactly. We all have a stake in this future.
And a voice.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into startup funding, I want to leave you with this thought. Don't be afraid to ask the hard questions. Challenge assumptions, consider different views, be an active part of shaping the future you want.
It's easy to get swept up in the excitement of new tech.
For sure.
But we gotta stay critical. Be aware of the potential, but also the risks.
Remember, the future isn't set in stone. It's ours to create.
It's a blank canvas, and we get to paint it with our creativity, our ideas, our dedication to making the world a better place.
And what a canvas it is. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of startup funding.
Always a pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, keep learning.